Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bristly Strangers channel. My name is Stinger from Stinger's Playground, and with me is Ricketts. Hello, Ricketts.
Hello. Hi.
Today we are recapping the Hergig Howlers versus the Infested Jokes. That's Skaven versus what is exactly the Hergig Howlers?
The necromantic team. So a bit of a different play on the undead team.
And what kind of strategies are we going to look in today's game, Ricketts?
Well, both teams are a very much running team, so they don't do an awful lot of throwing. They are both pretty quick. Okay, zombies are a bit slower, but the werewolves and ghouls on the necromantic team are much quicker than the zombies. All of the Skaven are pretty quick and nippy, so we're expecting to see a lot of long dashes round the sides, and probably a little bit of bashing as well.
Okay, without any further ado, though, let's go ahead and jump right into the game and see how it all pans out.
Okay, here we are at the Hergig Howlers Stadium, the Den.
Oh, look at all those zombies. All of them have regeneration, right?
All of this team has regeneration, apart from the one single solitary ghoul, if we do have a ghoul in there yet. No ghoul. So all of them have got regeneration.
And bring on the rats. We have the Infested Jokes with Captain Keith. There's that rat ogre. He's got a little mouse on top of him. I wonder if he's named him yet.
There's a lot of fleas on that team.
And here's the coin toss.
Okay, so it's the Hergig Howlers kickoff to the Infested Jokes.
And a high kick at that.
That'll be one of the gutter runners.
With a movement of 9, they sure can get close to that touchdown real quick.
Unfortunately, didn't manage to pick the ball up. So that's a block. Storm Vermin has block, so that's knocked down the zombie. Moving up. And another block.
Just pushing around a little bit.
Yeah. And moving up. And here's the blitz.
Oh, every time somebody blitzes with a guy that has wild animal or really stupid.
And that's just a push, but then Frenzy knocks him over. And that line rat's moving up to mark up that werewolf. And here's the gutter runner picking up the ball and moving behind the storm vermin for a bit of safety. So Flesh Golem marking up those two players, as does the other one. The Wight moving back to support the werewolf, as does the zombie.
I'm thinking you're setting up for a blitz from that downed werewolf here. Yep.
There he goes. And that's a knockdown. Not through the armor though. And just moving up to mark up another player. And that's a knockout. So these werewolves make a mockery of most people's armor. And that's another through the armor, but just a stun.
Skaven are quite squishy.
That's a knockdown. Just a push. Dodging out of the Flesh Golem's tackle zone. And here's a blitz. Just pushing back that werewolf.
With Frenzy. There it is.
And through the knocking him down.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I thought we were going to see a foul. That was just too many players surrounding that werewolf to not foul.
And that's a stun. And a failed dodge. And that's a turnover.
Deciding not to use a reroll for that.
I think that was his last move of that turn. So Hergig, Howlers marking up a few players. And with that Wight. And marking up the ball carrier there with a zombie. And here's the blitz. That's a 2 dice. Just a push.
I had to re-roll that because
Had to re-roll. Yeah.
Going into a whole group of people.
And then it bounces onto Miley Syrat, who actually picks the ball up.
Those pesky gutter runners.
Just a push there. And that's a turnover. And that's through the armor. Just a stun though. That zombie.
Did a lot of pushing around though. That's a big group conjugated right there.
2 dice. That's enough to knock the Wight down, but not through the armor. And tries to dodge out and fails.
67%.
Makes it that time. And that's a turnover, which Abraham Lincoln is knocked out, and that's a turnover. But there is that line rat who is deep in the Hergig Howlers line.
Definitely a threat to score.
Having to use a re-roll to get that line rat off the pitch, but there's no ill effect.
Marking up that other rat so he can't help his friend out.
Knocks that Stormvermin back and through the armor, but just a stun. Moving that zombie round, and here's the blitz, and that is a failed dodge. Yeah, and Howling Mad Murdoch is stunned.
Well, that's going to lead to a score almost guaranteed. Had to re-roll that.
Otherwise, that would have been a very ill-fated turnover.
And with that re-roll...
Oh, no, not a touchdown. 1 square away from the line.
Oh.
2 dice. That knocks him down. Block there by the Rat Ogre, and that fails, and it's a knockout for Julius Cheeser. And that's a turnover.
Hopefully he'll be able to get that player back after the next kickoff. If not, that's going to really be a detriment.
So we've got the Hergig Howlers picking up their players. Just a push. That's a turnover. Both down.
Each team is all out of rerolls too for the rest of this half.
And that's just a push. And then that gutter runner moving up to support.
Trying to run out the clock, you
Oh, and he tries to go for it and fails. So that's a turnover.
Quick turns.
Very quick turns. Again, marking up those players. Hergig Howlers have got quite a numerical advantage at the moment against these against the rats. But just pushing this rat around. And another push. That knocks him down though.
Not through the armor. Oh, but here's the blitz.
And there's the blitz. And that's another knockout. That's 4 knocked out now. Again, marking that other player up.
Decided not to move the werewolf after the fact. Interesting. After the blitz. Oh.
And here's a foul. Foul with
Maybe.
a zombie. On a storm vermin. No, not through the armor. And throwing the ball to the gutter runner. That is a touchdown.
1-0 with at least a few turns left to go in the half. Is it enough, though, for Ricketts to answer that?
So, all of the knocked out players come back. Now, I believe that Keith had quite a number of inducements, so he actually bought 2 Bloodwiser babes, which means that he gets his knocked out players back on 2+. So that's obviously how he's managed to get so many players back.
Now, what is that usually without any Bloodwiser babes?
Just a 4+ on a
4+.
D6.
So a 50-50
which means
shot.
it's a 50-50 chance. And it's quick snap, so all of the Hergig Howlers can move 1 additional square. It's a free move. So, moving up. Just moving those players up, getting them a bit closer. Just adjusting their position there, those zombies. Same goes for the werewolves. So, zombie moving up to mark up that line rat, as does that one. That's a knockdown. Not through the armor. Again, another roll there, but that's both of them down. No re-rolls.
That's going to be a
So
turnover.
that's a turnover. So marking up those players, that's 2 dice, just to push.
However, with 2 turns left for the Infested Jokes, it's not impossible that Keith doesn't score here before the half is over.
And that's a push, but with Frenzy, he gets to go again.
Serve.
And that's that Wight off the pitch. And that's a knockout for Mighty Wight. The dodge out.
I wish those gutter runners can run.
And the Storm Vermin moving up as well, going for it. And going for it again. 2 dice.
Just a push.
Just a push.
Freeze him up, though.
And that's a failed dodge. And that's a stun. So that's a turnover. And can the werewolf pick the ball up? He can. And off he runs.
It'll be a...
And there's a pass.
And a completion.
And that's, yep, on a completion to the other werewolf.
It's a nice star player point, and the werewolf moves up quite a bit far.
Yep.
Definitely a scoring threat for the next turn.
And that's a successful block by the Wight, who then gets into position to move up, to get away from there. And that's a knockout. So zombie against one of the line rats.
Very nice marking.
And again, the flesh golem there, providing a bit of... and that's a foul. And a stun for that line rat. And that's...
I think that was just a 1 dice block, but it was enough to get through that armor.
Yep, that's a stun. And you can just see the speed of those. See the speed of that? That's a wild animal there for Julius Caesar.
I believe that was going to be
Dodging.
his blitz, too.
Dodging out. No, here's the blitz.
Here's the blitz.
It's just the 1 dice. That's enough, though. And through the armor. Just a stun. But the ball is loose.
Definitely is going to make it really hard.
Well, with only 1 more turn, it's going to be very difficult. And that's a knockdown. And bringing that line rat to put another tackle zone on the ball.
Definitely a tall order starting turn number 8 for Ricketts to get this ball and a score. Will he go for the
blitz
score?
by one of the by a blitz by one of the flesh golems.
That does put the ball in a better location. No tackle zones on it.
And throwing it to the Wight, who fails to pick it up. And it goes on the floor. And that's it. That's the half.
If that had succeeded, that could have been a score. You were within range, correct? Or was there... No, there was a rat right in front of you, I think.
Yeah, it would have been a very difficult score, that one.
Well, that brings us to halftime with the Infested Jokes up 1-0 against the Hergig Howlers.
So the Wight is still out. The line rat comes back in.
Playing defense on half number 2, down 1-0 against Skaven. Gonna be an uphill battle.
It's the high kick. So any player on the Hergig Howlers not in a tackle zone can move into the square where the ball will land if it's unoccupied.
Gonna give that honor to a werewolf.
And fails to catch it. Picks it up that time. Two dice against that line rat. That knocks him down. And it's a knockout. Another 2 dice. Just a push, though. Pushing that line rat around. And another push.
Just can't keep him down.
Absolutely not. And that zombie marking up that line rat. As does the other one. And here's the blitz. That's a knockdown.
A little bit of a going for it right there. Just trying to get a better position, I guess.
Yep. I think that werewolf didn't want to be 2 squares away from the sidelines, just in case the rat ogre wanted to blitz him. And so this is a blitz. 2 dice, just a push. Rat ogre moves up. Marking up these players. Oh, and that had to be re-rolled, but that is a knockdown. And here's the gutter runner that's moved back, provide a bit of safety. A 1 dice just to push against that zombie. And a 1 dice again just to push against the other zombie. Turn 10.
Starting off with a werewolf. Moving.
Moves up. 2 dice. Just a push. And that's a knockdown on that line rat. 2 dice. Had to re-roll it. Two dice against that other line rat.
And the last turn to this turn, from pushes to knockdowns.
Yeah.
Blood Bowl. Never know what you're going to roll.
That's right. And then that's a knockdown. And the zombie moving up to support the werewolf. Get a sort of a cage going on. And here's the other werewolf staying behind. And a 1 dice, which failed. That's a knockdown, so that's a turnover.
Probably going to be the last turn, or the last move of that turn, so not horribly detrimental, I don't think.
No. That's fine. But look how quick these Skaven are. That's just the line rat. Able to mark up the back of the cage there. And that's a push, but he's got frenzy. And that's going to knock him down. But not through the armor. And I had to re-roll that one. Pushing around those players. The domino effect.
Cage is still pretty strong.
And dodging out of the tackle zone there. Providing a bit of a barrier there. Oh, and that's a failed dodge roll. And that's a turnover. Picking some players up. Marking up that down player. Flesh Golem there, marking up that big bulk of players there. The Wight knocks down that Stormvermin.
That's through the
armor. And that's another knockout.
Looks like Skaven is starting to fall apart a little bit. Good opportunities here. There's the blitz.
And that's another. Yeah, and that's another. That's just a push, but that was the blitz. And that's a knockdown on that line rat.
Not following up. Going to create more pathing issues for the Skaven, I think.
And that's a knockdown again. So that werewolf very close to the touchdown line.
Yeah, he's got 2 rats free that can do something about it, but everybody else is marked up pretty good.
And knocking down that zombie. There goes the gutter runner, marking up the werewolf. And that's the blitz with the line rat.
2 should give him a 2 dice block, which it does, and that'll do it.
And it knocks the ball over into the sidelines and into the center.
Not a horrible place for the Hergig Howlers at all.
But the Infested Jokes line rat does actually manage to pick the ball up and throw it. And he throws it into the midst of all his players in the halfway line.
Now, was he actually trying to create do an actual pass there, or was he wanting to just move the ball forward?
I think he was throwing it to the Rat Ogre there, but Rat Ogre not known for their agility,
no.
But at least it moves the ball further away from their touchdown line. And that's through the armor. Having to re-roll that.
Putting them on the ball, it's going to help the ball scatter a little bit. Always has a chance for one of the players next to it to pick it up.
Werewolf with frenzy there. That gutter runner perilously close to the sidelines. and running that werewolf back.
Choosing not to push the other rat off the pitch, I see.
That's a failed pickup by the Wight. So that's a turnover. Starting off with the rat ogre. Knocks that zombie down. And next one been knocked down as well.
Oh, and
Phil's dead.
Will he regenerate?
Will he? He does. He is back hale and hearty.
You can't keep a good zombie down.
Absolutely not, no. And there's a failed dodge from that zombie, which is a turnover. So no re-rolls on either side at the moment, so every move is potentially a risky one.
And 2 dice blocks.
And there you go. Chose the risky move. That's a turnover. Both knocked down. And that's a knockdown on that zombie from the rat ogre. And here's a blitz on the werewolf, just to push.
A little chain blocking going on right there.
And that's a turnover. Werewolf had block, but the line rat didn't. Oh, and that's the werewolf knocking the gutter runner off the pitch.
No injury though, so he'll be back as soon as somebody scores.
Here's the blitz. And that's knocking that line rat down. Oh, it's a failed dodge by the Wight, which stuns him. And that means it's a turnover, so the ball is free in the Hergig Howlers half. And a knockdown on against that zombie.
Bringing up a lot of rats.
And a failed pickup by the storm vermin, so that's a turnover. Picking up the zombie. And a failed dodge by the flesh golem. Don't know what
right out of the gate.
Don't know what was doing there.
Might have been a misclick. Maybe you didn't see him.
I think it was. There was a misclick on that one. But that's made it very easy now for the Infested Jokes to get to the ball.
Yeah, unfortunately, players on the ground aren't going to help.
Nope. And that's a 3 dice block with the rat ogre, and that knocks down the zombie. And as he comes back, provide a bit of a markup on the down player. Can the storm vermin pick the ball up? He can. And he's running towards the end zone.
Oh, but
2
just
squares
short.
away. And a dodge out. And a failed dodge. Oh, that's a dead line rat.
Cry is dead.
And he is dead. And the Hergig Howlers getting back as a zombie.
With the name and everything, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Oh.
Same name. So there he is.
Final turn for the Hergig Howlers.
And I don't think they can reach that storm vermin. But here comes the blitz with the werewolf. 2 dice. It's enough to knock him down. And through the armor. But just a stun. So it'll just be a bit of bashing now. Or in this case, a bit of pushing.
At this point, there's nothing left to do but hurt people.
That's it. And turn 16. And
Going
Rat
for a
Ogre there.
block.
Yep.
Kind of risky
And
with no
here comes
rerolls.
the touchdown. And we have a touchdown.
Oh, that's
So that's
gonna
Daniel Ratcliffe.
makes it a 2-0 lead for the Infested Jokes over the Hergig Howlers. Keith has got to be pretty happy about that.
Very, very good. And that's the end of the match. So, when we're looking at the result, Hergig Howlers, one successful pass and 13 armor breaks. But the Infested Jokes, 2 touchdowns, 1 death, and 6 armor breaks. But a 2-0 victory.
Not only 1 death, but 1 death that is now a player for the Hergig Howlers. Talk about adding insult to injury.
Well, that's one way that the Necromantic team can actually make up their numbers. So the MVP, Filled Up Phil, one of the zombies, gets the 5-star player points, and Daniel Ratcliffe, the Storm Vermin, obviously he scored I think, so he gets the 5. When we're looking at statistics, Infested Jokes far more ball possession than the Hergig Howlers did. Same amount of blocks succeeded on both sides.
7 KOs versus 1 KO.
Yep, a lot of KOs.
Those 2 Bloodweiser babes, though, sure did help him out.
Otherwise, he would have been running a much reduced team in the second half, and similar amount of yards running. Star player points. So, Hergig Howlers Filled Up Phil. He gets 5 for the MVP, and Teen Wolf gets 1 for the successful completion. Whereas Infested Jokes, 8 for Daniel Ratcliffe, 5 for the MVP, and 3 for the touchdown. 2 for the now departed Cry.
Now here's a question. Yeah, he got 2 star player points on that rat, but now that rat is a zombie. Does he come with those 2 star player points already?
I don't think so. I think it's just a brand new zombie with no star player points. And David Rattam gets the other 3 for the touchdown. But yeah, interesting that the 2 star player points for the casualty, but obviously he's dead, so not there anymore. Dice rolls, Hergig Howlers, very poor on the injury percentages, on the casualty percentages. Very poor on the dodging. When you're looking at the dice rolls, 26 ones and only 12 sixes.
Yeah.
So lots and lots of ones rolled in that game. Looking at Infested Jokes, reasonable percentages across the board, and
definitely less ones.
Yeah, pretty average across the board there. Fair number of 2s and 3s, but less ones then. So that's it. So that's the
yeah, that's gonna do it. That's gonna be the Infested Jokes winning over the Hergig Howlers 2-0. And with that, that's gonna do it for this episode. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you do, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let the coaches know what they did right, what they did wrong. For the Bristly Stranger, my name is Stinger from Stinger's Playground, and with me, as always, is Ricketts.
Cheerio all.
And we will see you in the next one.